Hello and welcome to vlog number 13. Today is a rather more personal vlog. At the request of YouTube user Clusterhead Survivor, I'm going to talk about me and my life before Parkinson's. Where to start? Okay, the beginning seems a logical place. I was born in Wembley, London in May 1961 and spent my very early years living in Harrow. We then moved to Bramall near Manchester in the northwest of England because of my father's job. He was a chartered surveyor with his own business in London, but he fell out with one of his business partners and went to work for the local authority in Manchester. When I was 10 years old, my father changed jobs and we moved again. This time to a village called Frizell on the Wirral, across the River Mersey from Liverpool. I grew up on the Wirral and went to school at Coldy Grange Grammar School for boys. I wasn't much of a scholar, didn't study very hard, didn't go to the sixth form to do A-levels, didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life. So I went to Catering College in Liverpool to study hotel and catering management and administration. Not a great success. I managed to see it through the 2-year course, but I flunked my finals. Still, what I did learn was how to cook, and that has stood me in good stead all these years. I went to work at the Parkgate Hotel in Parkgate on the Wirral, both as a barman in the public bars and also a silver service waiter in the a la carte restaurant. I briefly went to work as assistant manager at the Union Hotel in Penzance in Cornwall when I was 20, but fell out with the manager and returned to the Parkgate Hotel as head barman until a change in ownership meant that my services were no longer required. I then went to work as a salesman for a computer peripheral company in Birkenhead, which was a complete disaster. I just wasn't cut out to be a salesman. Then I spent a year driving a minicab in Birkenhead, and it was while I was driving a cab that I managed to get myself on a 14-week government course in computer programming. I was lucky enough to be offered a junior programmer position with the tobacco company, Rothmans, so I relocated to Aylesbury in Buckinghamshire, just north of London. I moved to Brighton 18 months later, along with my then girlfriend and her 2 kids, to work for TSB Trustcard, a credit card company. In those days it was quite common to move jobs to get a promotion, especially in IT. I graduated from programmer to senior programmer in the 2.5 years I stayed there, and then took a position as analyst programmer at American Express, also in Brighton. After 12 months I was bored again and decided to seek work as a freelance consultant. I spent the next 7 years working as a contract analyst programmer at a company in Red Hill, Surrey, and during this time built my own house, split up with my girlfriend, met and married my first wife, and became a father. To Amsterdam, where I worked for ABN AMRO, a Dutch bank. When I returned to the UK, we decided to move to Southampton to be nearer to my wife's parents, and I took a contract position with B&Q, a major DIY chain in the UK. It was during my contract in Amsterdam that I noticed a tremor, and on my return to the UK, consulted my doctor. I was misdiagnosed with benign essential tremor, and so began the fight to find out what was really wrong with me, a process that took 16 years. My first wife and I divorced in 2006, and I relocated to Norfolk, initially to look after my brother who was ill and about to have major surgery. I fell in love with the Norfolk Broads, the picturesque walkways that is, not the women, and decided to buy a property in Norfolk. I'd just finished a particularly awful contract and decided to retire from the IT industry and do a little property development to earn some money. I met my second wife while I was house hunting. I bought a cottage to renovate in a little village called South Reps, and it was while I was busy working on the renovation that my symptoms went through the roof, and a visit to my doctor led to my diagnosis of Parkinson's disease in 2011. Thanks for watching. If you have time to visit Clusterhead Survivor's channel and view some of his inspirational vlogs about living with chronic pain, I know he'd really appreciate it. Enjoy your week and see you next Friday.